Despite never actually existing, the Duchy of Provence is actually the domains held by the good King René of Anjou, who perished in the annals of history. My name is Ludi, and today we'll be showing why Provence is one of the most enjoyable nations in EU4, with a mission tree that lets it basically own half of Europe in the first few years, and gives some insanely overpowered permanent modifiers. If we get 6,900 likes on this video, I'm gonna do a guide on the nation of Saluzzo. In 1444, Provence starts out in 3 separate sides of the French region. Not to worry, however, we will eventually unify our land. Until we get to that point, we will be yeeting Mr. Charles of Valois, since he is pretty bad, to be fair. Yetius Maximus, was nice knowing you, Charles. Now get out of here. Afterwards, we're gonna go to our estates, and we gave out the +1 mill and admin. We're gonna give out the +1 diplo. We developed the province of Barra once. Make sure you set up encourage development beforehand, and that means we got 10% crown loans, which means we can give the land of commerce. It also means we can sell titles for a bit of a boost to our economy. We've also given out oversight by the clergy, aristocratic council, so we have cheaper military advisors, which we will need from the start, as well as supremacy over the crown and private trade fleets. Before we seize lands, we're going to be waiting for 1 month so that the province of Barra is even cheaper to develop because of the extra 7.5 development cost reduction from the bourgeoisie. Another reason why you want to wait 1 month before you develop this a second time is because a lot of the times the papal bull is going to be development cost reduction, so we're now developing this for 46 a second time. Noise. That means we can seize land, and we're only getting 0.20 autonomy monthly now. The other modifiers here do not actually matter. Another thing we're going to do is we're going to give out the patronage of the arts, which gives us 25 prestige, offsetting the prestige debuff that we have from disinheriting Charles. We can also send our fleets here to protect trade in the Genoa trade node. Eventually we will switch our trade capital in the Genoese region, since it is considerably stronger than our starting Bordeaux region. One of the strong points of Provence is its versatility. We can even join the empire by getting a bit of relations with Austria if we want to. So if that's the case, and if Austria did not rival you, you can always improve relations with them towards achieving that particular goal. Another great thing to do is get an alliance with the nation of Milan, which most of the times wants to be your ally, so that you can both fight against Savoy and split them up like good bros. You start off with an alliance with the French, but don't get too comfortable with that alliance, as we will be ditching them soon enough. We can set our rivals. I recommend you set the English as your rival. Sadly, the Papal States set us as their rival. If they don't set you as the rival, then you have a mission where if you get 150 relations with the Pope, they give you the city of Avignon for free. But because that didn't happen, we will set them as our second rival here, and we will take the city by ourselves. Also, in order to avoid getting excommunicado, you can just buy indulgence, which prevents the Pope excommunicating you. As our third rival, we're going to go for the nation of Britannia. We're also going to recruit the Free Company, so that we have some extra troops to fight against the English, and we're gonna get a general. Hopefully we get a siege pip, and we did get a siege pip, even a couple of fire pips. A bit early, isn't it, Simon? 11th of December, that means we can attack the English. The good part about this is that we can actually call in the French in this war, as they also have an interest in these lands. Come to Delosvult, everybody, let's do this. You need to make sure that you siege down the provinces in the north of France before the French do, as if you don't, then they will want to take these provinces in the war, and you're not going to be able to take them for yourself. Remember that we have a core in Maine, so at least the province of Maine we want to take for ourselves if we can't get the other provinces. This is really important, since we need 100 development to do our first mission that gives us cores on the entirety of Naples, or if they are a free country, that means if they're not a junior partner of Aragon, then we get a PU restoration CB on Naples rather than cores cores on every one of their provinces. The truth is that you actually want cores on every one of their provinces rather than the personal union, as having cores on 200 worth of development means that we essentially triple our economy and army within a few years. It's quite important that you destroy any landing party the English might have before they unsiege any of the provinces here. One extremely big brain move I recommend you do in this game is transfer the control of forts that you have in the war to your subject. I have Lorraine as a junior member under me, and that means I can give them control of Lisbon, Evora, as well as I already have given control of Calais and Caen. Remember though, before you do the peace deal, if you want to take a province, to transfer it back to yourself. We've been sitting on the English for a while now, as well as the Portuguese. We managed to get most of their lands here, including the fort in Ceuta, which means that they actually will give us what we want. We'll be taking all of the northern provinces for ourselves. Also, sadly, the Aragonese have lost the PU over Naples, which means that we don't get cores on Naples, but just a restoration of union. Also, our expansion path into Brittany is a little bit cucked over since they allied Aragon. Right now, we're gonna go for this peace deal, Dariago, and we're gonna use the 10 favors we got with the French to get the trust we lost back. We can also get temples as well as the next military tech, and we've even managed to get a little bit of innovativeness because of this. In the northern provinces, I recommend that you concentratio to make it cheaper to core all of these lands and delete the fort in Caen. We now can do Rene claims. That means we can declare on Naples. We can call in Milan, which is perfect since we can use them against the nation of Florence. Let's go with the Neapolitans. Well, the French sadly are still gonna break the alliance with us, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get friends from other places, if you know what I mean. I'm only gonna take some money and trade power from the nation of Florence, as well as make them cancel some alliances. Dariago. Now all we need to deal with is the Neapolitans themselves. You can also assign objectives to your allies and subjects if you want to, but I recommend that you keep your subjects on supportive so they can actually attach to your main armies. Well, it took us a little bit longer than I expected, but we eventually managed to get the Neapolitans in check. Sadly, Milan pieced out, but it's all good. That means we can take all the money for ourselves in this peace deal, which means we can pay the 1% loans that we have taken. Booyah, we got our first actual decent subject, because let's face it, Lorraine doesn't really count for much. We can go ahead and take the diplomatic ahead of, and we can do the mission King of Naples, which makes us a kingdom, as well as gets a restoration of Union CB on Aragon. We have gotten our alliance with the Austrians now that we went to peace, and we took a little bit more crownlands, which means we have 16% crownlands now. We're going to declare on the Papal States for the simple fact that we want to take our core back, and our new ally Austria actually would join us in this war, and this also brings in Savoy, which is allied to Aragon as well. We might need to get a few more mercenaries, however, so we are going to be recruiting the Flemish company in our mainlands, namely Barra, and we're going to let Lorraine attach to this army. Excuse me, Lorraine, my army's over here, not Intra. Where are you going, bro? Where are you going? Oh, I see. You're going to Nemours, then Auxerre, and coming back to Barra to attach to my army. This is just top quality AI right there, guys. Well, the siege of Rome took actually quite a few days compared to other sieges. That means we can start by piecing out Savoy here. We're literally just gonna go for canceling the alliance with Aragon and maybe taking a little bit of cash. This is enough. I don't want a very long truce with them. Despite having taken Rome, we still have to siege down Avignon. They would not give us a province that has a fort and we haven't sieged it down yet. But we also want to take advantage of Aragon's weakened situation, and we're gonna go for the restoration of Union against Aragon. We're actually going to be co-belligerating Brittany, and luckily enough, Castile is not joining because they are in debt and have a lot of war exhaustion from the Civil War. Let's go. Oh god, this is really not happening right now, is it? Austria, seriously? The Liège War? Wow. Sad part is that because I joined this, I actually have to fight a little bit, otherwise Austria might even give some of my provinces in the war. So let's hope that these two sieges here finishes fast enough so that we can actually focus on on Aragon, and then after focus on Burgundy as well. You know what? I'm going to go even more over my force limit. Before we do that, we're going to go for the national manpower reform, and I am going to recruit more mercenary units. The Boscoli is a great unit that I'm going to take full advantage of right here. Finally, Avignon is down, and that means we can take the province for ourselves. We're also giving Urbino to Austria so they stay happy, and we cannot take much money, but we can go for humiliation, which is going to give us some extra power projection. Neuss, now we can also do another mission here, negotiate Avignon, which gives us claims on the south of the French region. All of the south part of the French region, actually. Neuss, now we can focus on as well. We don't need to kill the Aragonese army. We just need to siege down these 3 forts they have, and then we can use their army in our Burgundian war. Roussillon is down, and we're going to use this army to actually prevent the Bretonians from taking Avignon. Otherwise, that's going to be a little bit of an issue. They also took Anjou, which already is a bit of a pain in the ass, since we have to take this back. I should have also deleted the fort in Anjou, since it's pretty much useless. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to do exactly that. No more fort in Monsieur Avignon, and you boys can continue to siege down stuff in this area now. Oh wow, the Austrians are actually kicking the butts of Burgundy. Can I peace them out? I can! Oh, that is nice, because I really don't want to be in the Burgundian war as well. Let's just continue with our siege of the Pyrenees. This place is taking so long to siege, it's really annoying. But hey, on the bright side, at least Naples is close to being super duper loyal. And we got our first idea, said boyos. Honestly, in the case of Provence, I recommend you go influence ideas first, as you will need to deal with your many personal union members. England is a great power. How did that happen? Didn't they like lose a lot of land? And they didn't get the Scottish vassal, so what on earth? I am going to take most of these, and the coalition is literally countries I don't need to worry about. I'm also going to take all the money I can take, and that's about it. Let's go. That means we can peace out the nation of Aragon also, and we also can adopt the institution. I had to take a few loans for that too, but it is worth it. Union with Aragon, Neuss, 37, aggressive expansion, or we can wait for a few months, and it's going to be less nations in that coalition. I'm going to wait for a few months. Let's make sure we send our troops in the south, as that's where we're going to be expanding afterwards. Delete the fort in Finistère, concentratio here, and corral this up. Before we core it up, make sure we lower the war exhaustion, and there you go. By the way, guys, if you made it to this point in the video, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel, especially if you're binging the videos and you haven't subscribed yet. Consider it. It would really mean the world to me and help the channel out so much. Valencia has fallen, but we still have to unsiege a lot of our own stuff before we can peace them out here. We've waited far enough. Now we can finally peace them out. There you go. Less coalition members. And we got our second PU member. Wait, what? Navarra? Oh, they had a PU over Navarra. I thought it was just an alliance. Well, that's kind of annoying because this is literally just a diplo slot wasted, but fair enough. That means we can do the King of Sicily mission that gives us permanent claims on all of the Holy Land, essentially. And we can get the restoration of union on Hungary. Hungary has lost a little bit of land, but not a big deal. We can still attack them and restore our union over them. Our troops are in the south, which means we can easily get access to their lands. We might have to ask our ally, the Austrians, for a bit of military access. Hungary just has around 15,000 units that it's literally using to siege down our provinces, whilst we're sieging down their provinces. Also, because we managed to get the second idea in influence, liberty desire -15 in subject, we're basically keeping everybody in check. The Aragonese are going to be a little bit harder to keep in check because they're a bigger nation, but the best part about personal unions is that you don't actually get a common strength pool when compared to the overlord. That means that unlike vassals, each personal union strength compared to yours is judged separately. Truce is over with everybody here, fair enough. Looks like King Louis has no heir. Do we still have the royal? Oh my god, I'm so getting this. I am so getting this. Somebody say a union with the France. And because we finished both of these sieges, let's see if we can peace out Hungary here. And we can get the union as well. Let's bring our troops back home first before we enforce that peace deal, so that we can get ready for the war with the French. our troops are in position. We're gonna peace out Hungary. Go. Now, these troops that were fighting against us are gonna be our friends. We also can do King of Hungary. That gives us mercenary discipline plus 10%, which is vital since most of our army is a mercenary army at this point. I am super over my diplo relations, however, and I am gonna focus on diplo points because of that. I also will be giving out the Indebted to the Burghers Guild loans one more time, which is gonna give us the amount of money that we need to fight this French war. We can even call in Milan. Beautiful. I wish I could call in Austria, but they have debt. Actually, I can pay their debt, and that means they can join my war. Take on foreign debt. There you go. That means they can join in. Oh, this is gonna be super easy now. We got both the Austria. Oh, what? Well, Castile actually joined in now. No big deal, though. We can still fight all of these guys. We got the Austrians on our side. Let's do it, boys. This is World War I in 1465. Hungary inherited Croatia, which means one less diplo slot for us to worry about. Quite happy with that outcome. This is probably the best timing for the last jousting tournament. Also, I want to mention that you really want to keep your troops close to each other in these wars, as the AI will likely try to snipe whenever you have troops separated from the main pack. Let's also get another general since my guy just died. Hopefully he has a few shocks. He does have a few shocks. Holy mother of God. What is my army tradition actually? I got 48 army tradition. That's really not bad. Because I have to fight the Castilians for quite a while. This is going to be a long war. Here's a really big brain move, guys. I'm going to peace them out. I'm going to give them something. Do you know what I'm going to give them? I'm going to cancel my subject Navarra, which honestly is an absolute waste of a diplo slot. And I'm going to return Alençon. They're at 40 and 41. That means if I give a little bit of cash, oh my god, I took out of this war a good 50,000 troops, which I would have struggled to fight against. I've reached a point where I'm barely even struggling with any of my wars here. My vassals and allies are basically doing all of the work whilst I'm just sieging a few forts here and there and trying to keep myself entertained whilst that's happening. And guess what? They're sieging down my PU member. Okay, because we've been expanding so fast, by me taking the PU over France, I'm gonna get a coalition of pretty much everybody in Europe. But nothing to fear. I will show you exactly what we're gonna do in order to deal with that coalition in a few moments. This is gonna be the most epic battle the world has seen up until now. And we are doing a little bit of river crossing here, but not to worry. The coalition forces, as I like to call myself, will definitely prevail. Go. This also means we can stack and wipe in some of these troops here, and we can chase down and stack and wipe in the rest of them in Valencia. No more Frenchies in here. They managed to hide in Alicante, but it's all good. Begone, ya rebel scum. They are gone. I bet the citizens of La Bourde and all the other forts here are wondering why they're occupied by Lorraine out of all nations. We've waited for long enough. We can now peace out the French. I feel like this is a decent amount of nations that should join in a coalition against us. I'm also canceling the French corps they have on me so that they have better relations slightly, and taking 34 ducats. Honestly, canceling the corps is more important than the ducats. So let's go for this, and now we have our brand new PU over the French, and that means all of their vassals are technically our vassals, since they keep these, and once they integrate them, well, they're part of our PU member. Not to mention, we don't need to waste our diplo relation slots with their vassals. Despite me being such a benevolent leader, war is still gonna come, and the coalition is gonna try its best at defeating me, but I don't think they will succeed, sir. You know what really gets to me though? Like, why is Berg in a coalition? Why would Berg have to worry about me just being yay big in the first 30 years of the game? I mean, it's not a problem. Of course, Comet sighted. Seriously, this looks like a peepee, by the way. It's an omen, everybody. Oh boy, this is gonna be fun, y'all. So here's the thing, right? Even if I do lose this coalition war, it really is not a massive deal. I've been expanding like crazy, and I am willing to give out a few of my lands, but that is not gonna happen. There's two ways of actually winning coalition wars. One of them is obviously just winning every single battle that you have, which means that you're gonna start getting the ticking war score for the show superiority priority, which in turn means that you basically can win the wars. And even though half of your country is sieged down, you're still gonna get either a white peace, or you can even take provinces from the enemy. The easiest way to do this is basically attacking weak armies wherever you see them, stack wipe them left and right. This way, such as the Burgundian army here, we got a lot of war score without having to even bother with it too much. The French integrated Armagnac, which means we can do the Unite Occitania mission, which also means we can do the King of the Franks mission that gives us morale of armies. Perfect timing, honestly. So we've discussed the first option of basically winning all the engagements and getting a war score from that, but there's a second option that is actually even better. I am of course talking about giving away your allies' lands. Sometimes you can do that directly, sometimes you can do it via releasing nations. So we can release Parma and Urbino from my allies here, Austria and Milan. We can even give Crane to Telia. And you might be wondering, why are you giving them extra stuff? Well, there is a very good reason why I'm doing that. Because we gave our allies lands away, we made them weaker. And guess what? I want weak allies, since I will eventually be expanding in those areas. Not to mention, if you give directly provinces from your allies, you can get revanchism as well. Whilst we're waiting for the AE to go down in Europe, I'm going to be attacking the Mamelukes. I've allied the nation of Tlemcen and I got military access from them. And because of that, I can start my assault here. Let's do it. Oh no, our king just passed away. Well, may he rest in pieces, because he was actually an absolute Chad, not gonna lie. We can also get our first idea in the administrative idea set. I went with admin ideas because once I fill all of the admin ideas with influence, minus 25 annexation costs from influence, plus minus 20 diplo annexation costs from the policy that these two give me, plus minus 20 from my missions until the end of the game. So I essentially get minus 70% diplo annexation costs, 70% cheaper to integrate France, Aragon, Hungary, and so on. And we also have the potential of forming the nation of Sardinia Piedmont, which again has until the end of the game a permanent diplo annexation cost modifier from its missions, and can even do the same by forming Austria later on if we really want to min-max this. Ah yes, the glorious march of Hungarian troops in Antak 1485. Historical game, everyone. But I digress. We pretty much crushed the Mamelukes, which means we can take all of these lands that we have claims on, take all the money to fix our economy, and even go for war reparations. Let's do it, boys. Let's do it. This means we can do the King of Jerusalem event. And we're gonna also release the nation of Syria as our vassal. This means that we can reconquer all of Syria's cores in a little bit after the truce is over. Until that point, let's click this. The city is ours. The Knight Templar Mercenary Company becomes available for hire. Successful crusade indeed, boys. Now let's start coring up all of these lands here and use the money we got to pay off our loans. So I'm trying to integrate Lorraine, but these bastards keep improving their province 18 times and going, man. Unbelievable. In any case, I am going to do the last of my missions here. Namely, join the Empire or destroy the Empire. We didn't join it early on, but we will be destroying it. And in order to destroy it, there's two choices. We need to have either all of the electors as our allies or occupy their capital, and the same for the Emperor. So what we're going to do is we're going to get an alliance with most of the electors. We have insanely high diplo reputation. Actually, it's at +5. So because of that, I actually can get an alliance with all of the elect, and I'm gonna do that right now. Booyah. Now, as you can see, I only need to have Bohemia and Austria's capitals occupied. And guess what? I'm gonna attack Bohemia. Even though I can ally them, I am gonna attack them, which is gonna bring in the Austrian as the war target. And let's go, boys. It's gonna be a bloodbath. Set the proper war targets for your subjects, and you can always barrage the capital, both of the capitals for that matter, making this a lot faster. We've integrated Lorraine finally. Hey, we even took Vienna. That means that we can also do the Integrate Lorraine mission. Brave Bohemian defenders trying to fend off the Provençal hordes, are they? Well, they have failed, and I have barraged this place, so it's gonna be mine very, very soon, sir. Prague has fallen, which means, you guessed it, we can dismantle the HRE. Booyah, boys! No more Holy Roman Empire. Because we all know it was neither holy, nor was it an empire, or Roman for that matter. Nice. Now what we can do is we can piece these guys out. Hopefully we can take all 3 of these provinces. Yep, now we got it though. 49-67. I'll take it. I'll absolutely take it. War is over. That means we can join the empire, quote unquote. And most importantly, King of Kings, we change ourselves to an empire rank, and until the end of the game, minus 20% diplo annexation cost. Absolutely insane. Let's do it, boys. We also are a cultural union, and most importantly, we can switch on over to Jerusalem if we want now, which is gonna give us a new mission tree. Maritime allies will take it, and we'll do all of this as well, but most importantly, actually decent national ideas and the most overpowered crusader state government reform that gives us basically the same Deus Vulci that we'd get from going full religious ideas. All of this in here. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this. 6,800 likes, and we'll continue this saga and see how far we can stack diplo annexation cost modifier and how fast we can conquer all of Europe. Also, check out my Twitch channel. I would love to see you guys over there. I also want to give a very special thank you to all of my patrons and channel members, as well as my Twitch subscribers. Thank you so much, guys, for all the support. I wouldn't be able to make these videos without you.